right there. We're continuing. It's getting hotter and hotter per day. You can't believe it. All right. So if it's your first time to come across this channel, please do yourself a favor, subscribe. Make sure that you ring the bell so that every time we are live, you'll be notified immediately. I also want to send some shout out to my regulars and say, guys, it's a blessing to have you here. Come over, guys. Yes, I can only imagine what Ramaphosa is feeling right now, considering the kind of bombshells that are being thrown by Chris Muchanga. I also saw one of ZANU PF's hardliner as well, really throwing heavy shady on South Africans. You know, guys, you all know that we are hanging on a thread in many ways, right? You know what I'm talking about. And also, do you even know that Muchanga is on a full-blown presidential campaign? I can't believe it. Muchanga wants to be the president of Zimbabwe. What's your take on that? Do not forget to like the Lazarus push algorithm, inviting everyone to the conversation. Elijah, Moses, good to see you. You're welcome, everybody. Come over. Let's have a conversation. Welcome, guys. Shout out to TikTok right here. Arnold, good to see you, man. Wow. It's getting wild, exciting, unbelievable. You know, politics in Zimbabwe is nothing but some interesting thing. James, Memory, me, Rangarirai. Good to see everybody. Happy Sunday. YZ Chando, Richmond. Good to see you. We are live here on TikTok as well. Shout out TikTok. What's up, y'all? I know that you miss me and I miss you too. All right, you've seen the headline. It's getting hotter and hotter. Internal factions and fights within ZANU-PF. And by the way, yeah, I'm like the team Jehoshaphat. We are like, you're gonna kill yourself right there. We're good here. All we want is to collect what belongs to us at the end of the day. Our monies that have been looted. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So we all know that churches are corrupt, right? That is Ali here. I'm going to start by this brother of mine. He's nothing but a blessing as well. He said most churches in Zimbabwe are corrupt. Opposition actors, you know, we've seen quite a number of them, are corrupt. ZANU-PF leaders are corrupt. Business people in Zimbabwe, the business sector that I've always been talking about, are corrupt. The media practitioners as well, you've seen there's quite a number of things happening in Zimbabwe, but you're always going to be swept under the carpet, are corrupt. You know, selective outrage on corruption will not deliver a free nation. The above is ammunition for the corrupt regime. You're not doing anyone a favor defending your favorites, right? It's sustaining your opposition, your oppression. Okay, Holy Ghost, your oppression. ZANU-PF criminals looted ballot paper funds as much as opposition figures were also looting funds for the elections. The system knows about these shenanigans, hence this ERA option. We all know opposition people are corrupt too. There's quite a number. You saw it. I mean, it's not like it's right there in front of your faces. I mean, who is not corrupt in Zimbabwe? I think a few people, if you find few, majority are corrupt. That's why we can't get a solution in the country, because corruption is what the country is about. It's just a corrupt system. Now, did you hear that there was a soldier guy? Is it a soldier who also shot the CIO guys and other citizens apparently on the other side of Mount Darwin? I'm going to read the report from HSTV as well. Again, you all know everything's being caused by ZANU-PF shenanigans, because now people are moving around door to door, you know, threatening those they assume associating themselves with the opposition that may either be pushing the narrative of protests. But I'm asking myself questions. I'm like, why are you looking for the people when those that are actually planning protests are right there and they talk about it every day? Why are you looking for, for people that who don't even have a clue of what you are referring to? All right, so they were saying breaking. Soldier kills 3 and shoots himself. So 4 people died at the same time. A soldier shot dead 3 people in Mount Darwin before shooting himself dead last night. Police have said. Mashonaland Police Central spokesperson Inspector Milton Mudende confirmed the incident, but said the dead words were still sketchy, right? Our officers are on the scene. 4 people are dead, including the suspected shooter. He said, what was interesting that early in the morning prior to these reports, one guy from Mount Darwin started posting and said, do you know that one of the guys shot the CIO who came and began to intimidate people in the bar, threatening that we are looking for a certain guy who always drink here. And the people were pissed. That's when the fight broke up, and when the fight broke, and then they to shoot each other. Being caused by who? By ZANU-PF nonsense. Now you see, we have lost 4 lives by simply focusing on stupid stuff. What about rolling the tangers, right? I mean, I'm asking myself, is there war in Zimbabwe? Here's the thing. SADC needs to understand that all the problem that we're facing today is on them. It's on them and all this chairman nonsense that they're going through, because I can't even believe it. People have to die because of chairmanship. Do you know that Mugabe was an AU chair and also SADC chair, you know? But did you ever hear all this madness that we are seeing today? Or it's just the illegitimacy that is bothering ZANU-PF. You know, they are afraid. You know what happened last year with that sham election? Yeah, okay. And we all know that this was SADC thing. It really has nothing to do with all the ZANU-PF, the people that are trying to push. It's all about propaganda. But who doesn't know that it's on rotational basis? It's not like President Emmerson Mnangagwa have actually won it, or he qualifies for something. No, it's on rotational basis. It could have gone to anybody, you know. If we had a new president, even tomorrow, that person can still be the chair of SADC. So there's nothing fancy about this. Some people need to sit back and relax. We are not fighting. Relax and chill. But one person that has spoken really, really very powerfully and honestly is Talent Chiwenga. By the way, I'm sorry for those that know he's your pastor. Yeah, when we talk here, we call you by name. You know, I know that the pastorship and anointing has to happen in the church. I'm talking about Talent Chiwenga, right? He made it very clear, I think, a few years ago. And so the problem, yeah, Zimbabweans, we the Zimbabwean people, we are the problem, yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have the problem. We really do have a problem. I want you to take a listen to him. Shout out to Talent. I know some of you call him apostle, a pastor, but I know he missed Talent. I'm sticking with that. Take a listen, please. With all respect, please. So you bear with me. Take a listen.
Yes, the state is brutal. But have you also considered the recklessness and the foolishness of the Zimbabwean citizen? When one person is being brutalized, some that are put there by another Zimbabwean, they are a serious cause for concern.
Right.
A police truck with 5 officers beats up a vendor, and the truck goes slowly at a speed of less than 10 kilometers per hour until it goes into Central Police Station. If people were normal people, that video should have ended with the burning of that police truck and the beating up of those police officers. Yes. But I can assure you, no Zimbabwean should be vandalized, brutalized, and assaulted while another Zimbabwean is watching.
Yes. Right.
It is high time Zimbabweans should stand up and say, let's die together. If I see you abusing my brother, I'm going to join in. Let's die together. Right. There's no reason for us to live after all. And the people of Zimbabwe do not know that the population, the ordinary Zimbabwean population, is more than the police, the army, and those who work for the intelligence combined.
Yes.
There is no amount of gun power that can silence the voice of all the Zimbabweans. And this is because of the divide and rule tactic that the politicians have been using for all these years.
Yes.
Our people are not united. But I'm not talking about unity, I'm talking about the common humanity in an ordinary person.
Right.
We no longer have humans in Zimbabwe. Most of our people have turned into animals. They've turned into zombies. They've turned into insane human beings. How do you justify the abuse of those MDC activists simply because they participated in a demonstration which was illegal? Mm-hmm. So does two wrong make a right?
No.
Two wrong don't make a right.
Yes.
Two wrongs do not make a right. Ukaona uchisenda message yakadaro kuti zvavawana vanonyanya kuzvikudza vanozvinyanya vanga vachitsvage vana vadiki kudiko vanhu vakaenda kuhondo vaine 16 years. Dai nhau yezera yaishata dai tiri independence. All these guys vari vachembera vakaenda kuhondo vari 15 years 16 years. They were active in politics. There is no age that says you should participate in politics when you are 45 years of age. This is just a propaganda that is being peddled by the oppressor and the dictator. And who is going to talk about it?
Right. I can't even believe, sometimes I'm sitting and I'm asking myself questions. Does the police know that they don't owe allegiance to politicians? Why do you guys confuse politicians and the state? Do you know who the state is? It's the people. You need to understand that we can have one president today and tomorrow wake up and have another president. Why do you think that you owe allegiance to ZANU-PF individuals as if you are their police guards? You are police to the Zimbabwean people. You're supposed to protect the Zimbabwean people. Did you see what happened recently in Venezuela? Did you see what happened? Police people removed their clothes and joined citizens. protesting and said, we have had enough. Zimbabwean police and the army, have you had enough for real? Have you had enough? Because I don't think you have had enough. I actually saw some few cars that were bought just to impress SADC. Did you see them? The Benz and all. And actually, I heard that these cars came from Dubai. And I was laughing. I said, I don't forget that video from the guy from Kenya who made it clear that, you know what, those are simply trinkets that we get from Dubai after we give them our minerals. Do you think we're that stupid? And here you are celebrating that you're going to be given that old car. Some of those, the ones that I saw, you know, that's old car. Our previous cars, the Sandana was better than nonsense that we are seeing today. They were better. The Sandana was better. Do you remember the Sandana? Because I was telling you about my brother. You know, I've got quite a number of brother police guys here. You know, but there's one of them very distinctive. My brother's the older one. Very interesting guy, actually. Yeah. So you would bring up that Sandana with the cap. You would say that those were police people. But in 2024, it's a joke, man. Why do you align with politicians? They will come and go. You owe allegiance to the Zimbabwean people in the bird. The Zimbabwean bird, you know the bird? And the flag. Right? So this time, if there are protests, brothers and sisters, do the right thing and free yourself. Don't even hit anybody. Let the politicians send their children to go and fight on the streets. You should never. You need to stand with the people so that at least we get the freedom that we need. So you guys can get better salary. You need to afford to buy your own houses. I do remember a police guy that was speaking a few weeks ago that we can't even afford. We have to tell our children that what happens. We can't tell our children go upstairs, right? What he was trying to say is we can't even afford to buy our own houses. When are you going to respect the fact that you guys deserve to live a decent life? Nice houses, have retirement in unity, my pension, savings. You're just being abused by politicians who comes in and go. Police Zimbabwe and the army. Young people, don't be used. Stand with the people and free the country. Do the right thing. Do the right thing for the sake of your destiny. Don't buy all these lies and being abused and manipulated. Look at South Africans. They stand for what they believe in. They don't take nonsense. The commission is on record before elections and tell these police and said, listen, you guys owe allegiance to the star that you have. The South African people, not politicians, because they will come and they go. Be wise. Don't be used. Be sober and vigilant. Now, moving on. Max Lyon. He said you cannot address a problem you do not acknowledge at times. You have to digest some uncomfortable truth. Most of you are asking, how did we get there? How did we get here? Your political class operates as one from government opposition. They protect each other, share money and opportunities. Sorry, my bad. That is what you are up against. As you endeavor to hold your government to account, your opposition is helping the government by reducing the pressure, missing in action and hyping you with empty words. Why would the government give members of the opposition 40,000 each? Judges 400,000, cabinet minister 500,000, and deputies 350,000. They are in the same team. That is why the problems never get solved. That is why there is no solution. If you don't get rid of this political class, you will suffer and the country will never recover. He's right. He's completely right. Right? And I can tell you that this is why Chamisa was against the issue of the monies. Told the members of parliament, guys, why did you take the money? They proceeded to collect it. The question is why? You took the loan, how are you going to pay it when you're earning peanuts? And who actually checked if you can afford to pay the loan? It was a bribe, a spiritual transaction. And whom are you going to blame? The opposition or also the ruling party? You are the same. This is why police Zimbabwe and the army, listen, y'all brothers, stand with the Zimbabwean people. Politicians have failed us. Without a shadow of a doubt. They failed us. It's all about them and greedy. They collect and forget about the people of Zimbabwe. So stand with the people and do what you have to be doing. Right? That's wisdom. Wisdom is profitable to direct. And you also know that the relationship between Zimbabwe and South Africa is getting intense. I, as a Rumbi, it breaks my heart because, listen, I have my brothers who are working here. The political class. You must never forget the political class. Not the political class. I'm talking about the skilled people. Even some of them that are not skilled, they're my brothers. Every Zimbabwean. And I'm talking about men as well, who are being humiliated daily by simply people, because we are just stuck in people's countries. I must say this. Most people that I meet and I talk to, they always say, I just want to go home. We want freedom. We want ZANU-PF to go. We want to go back home. And you know, people in the foreign land are all stick by the same rule. We want to go back home to Zimbabwe and build our country. But who is actually blocking everything? ZANU-PF and their thugs, the cartel. A group of thieves are holding us at ransom, holding guns. You've seen them throwing the tankers on the street. Bear in mind, guys, allegations are they're not actually the soldiers that you saw. These are soldiers that were created, the parallel structures that were created by ZANU-PF. They are not the actual soldiers that you know. Did you actually saw some of these youth for ZANU-PF wearing the camouflage? The last time I checked, no one is allowed to wear camouflage in Zimbabwe. But no, the ZANU-PF people are wearing camouflage, trying to intimidate citizens. So be aware that those are not the soldiers that you know. The soldiers that you know are suffering with us. Always remember that. So the relationship is getting sour. ANC is stuck, with this marriage. They can't let go of the marriage, trying to accommodate a friend. Not only talk of a friend that is becoming radical and also abusive, because Chris Muchanga is on record shouting at South Africans. Guys, you need to remember something here. South Africa is not like Zimbabwe, right? They can have their different political parties, but those people are very much united. They can talk and laugh and eat together. Yeah, that ZANU-PF supporters within the ZANU-PF, even the Politburo are going to their meetings with their own water in their jackets because they're afraid. They don't know if they can be poisoned. That's how toxic our politics has become. South Africans can't do that. They can all drink and eat together, right? So that should make us question ourselves, what is wrong with us as a country? There's something wrong with this Zimbabwean country. Something is wrong. Imagine carrying your water to go to a meeting where there's water as well, because you're terrified you can be poisoned. Sickening. Absolutely embarrassing. Now, Chris Muchanga is on record shouting at Malema. Because you know what Malema said? Malema was very clear about where he stands with the Zimbabwean situation. As he was addressing, students in Western Cape. When Muchanga heard that, but I think it's important for you guys to actually listen to what Malema said. Just tell me if he said anything wrong at all. Or it's just Chris Muchanga with a big mouth, and this man wants to be the president of Zimbabwe in his dreams. Take a listen.
Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwean youth must rise, because that nonsense will never come to an end as long as there is no unity of purpose against the tyranny, against the suppression of political wishes of Zimbabweans. So ourselves at Pan-African Parliament, at the AU, at SADC, we have to have a political will to speak for the people of Zimbabwe. When it comes from us, it will have more weight than when it comes from Europe. Why? Because we're brothers and sisters. They will know it's a friendly fire.
Yeah.
But SADC, AU, South Africa, they are failing Zimbabweans because it's a bruise-up. It's friendship. It's brother, leader, brother. When they need brother. And then when you ask what is the resolution, no one has taken any resolution. So you need a clear position from SADC which gives the timelines that by this time this should have happened. But otherwise, Mnangagwa is going to come back and he's got nothing to offer at all. So Chiwenga is done. He will not be anything. They used him. Chiwenga is no longer the most powerful military man in Zimbabwe now. They've weakened him. So only the power of the youth of Zimbabwe can change the political status quo. And the Zimbabweans have to know that we are with them, including Zimbabweans who are here in South Africa. When there are elections, get into buses and go home. Go and fight from there. Because the humiliation that you are being subjected to here in South Africa is if you don't have your own homes. It's high time that you take it upon yourself and organize yourselves. EFF is there. We can even sponsor buses. Ura. If you are here to study, you can come back, go and vote. so that we know that at least you are also doing something.
Yeah. Is it wrong? What did he say that is wrong here that made Muchanga angry? You know, whenever truth is spoken, Muchanga is fighting back here. You know what I'm saying? What did he say? What did he say that is wrong here? You have listened to him. He's right, but the ZANU-PF do not want anything to do with confrontation. They want to say, no, we must pacify, sit down and just relax. You know, be afraid of us. They want people to be afraid of them. Guys, we are simply dealing with human beings here. We are not dealing with animals. We are dealing with human beings like you and I. There's nothing fancy about these politicians in ZANU-PF. Nothing. In fact, some of them don't even have a clue of what they're talking about. That's why today I was like, wait a minute. When I hear that, oh no, Chimani Mani is saying President Mnangagwa must stay until 2030. I'm like, when I look at the guys whom we are saying are actually standing and support Mnangagwa, the president, what do they do in life that I should even follow? What do they have to offer, right? For me to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to sit because there were these old people or these guys who don't even know how to write a CV were saying someone must stay on. And I have to look at what President Mnangagwa has done till now. And I'm going to sit here waiting for someone who can commission a roundabout to actually direct my path. Because what is the purpose of having a president? A president is sent as a leader, is leading a country somewhere. Am I following someone who actually commissioned a roundabout in 2024? You know, I have to be fair with myself and say, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm talking about real projects here, not a roundabout, a road that an entire ministry can pull out the president to say, come and commission a 7-kilometer road, to commission a road in 2024. Do you understand how behind we are? And they want us to respect them. It's not going to work. We're not going to respect it. Absolutely nothing. But here's the thing. You guys need to pray for Hopo Chingono because he's coming in full force. One thing I can say is Hopo is coming in full force. He's very direct. He's not joking. He knows what he wants. He says it's time for us to let President Mnangagwa know that this doesn't work. And it's very clear. Again, speaking about the red carpet of blood, road for SADC summit. So he said, as the SADC summit approaches, and Emmerson Mnangagwa rose out of the red carpet of blood and terror, it is important for Africans to be aware that there are over 100 Zimbabwean political prisoners held in connection with this summit, starting from June 16 by Zimbabwean dictator Emmerson Mnangagwa. And then he spoke about the issue of, the lady that, the guy that was beaten up recently. Apparently the doctors are saying he may have a problem with his kidney. Again, they refused him to get treatment. So they are locked up. The child, 1-year baby, locked up. And I also saw this evil man. I'm saying evil man. I'm referring to, what's his name? The evil man in the president's office, Joe Charamba. That man is one of the most wicked men I've never seen on earth. You know when you see a boy child, don't even mention the father. There's something wrong with the father. One thing you can never take away is for a son to never talk about his dad. Ask women who have kept his sons away from their father, what they do when they're grown. They're like, I want to go and see my daddy. It will be like fire for fire. But this guy, the one that was running recently, if you go to his timeline on Instagram, he does not even talk about his father, not a single day. Because allegations are, he is the one that is the mom that passed away that used to be beaten by George Charamba. I'm referring about a man who is working in the president's office, George Charamba, that you see, that evil man, what he was saying on social media. And he was celebrating that you guys are going to be locked up until Vaenda. He's referring to those SADC people who live, you must lock you up until SADC is gone. I'm talking about a guy who is in the president's office. That's how wicked these guys are. Listen, nothing is going to work under the ZANU-PF administration. And not because they are not even good at doing the job. Forget about that. Because their hearts are evil. These are evil men. You can't expect goodness from evil people. It doesn't work like that. It's a principle. You can't. Now you see not only talk about George Charamba, Chris Muchanga is shouting at Malema, calling South Africans, what are you telling us about succession? Bear in mind, he's also desperate because he wants to be the president of Zimbabwe. I don't know who can vote for Chris Muchanga. Jesus knows my... Listen, I am in Zimbabwe myself. I'm sorry. Chris Muchanga to be who? The president of Zimbabwe. Sure. Yeah. I can only imagine. But let's take a listen to Muchanga. Shouting at Malema, call him names. What did Malema do? Nothing except speaking truth into power. Take a listen.
Constitution. This debate is being foisted from external quarters. And sometimes in Shona, there's an empty, in fact, in Shona, not sometimes, there is an empty adage. Kana wachida kuziya mwana wemhuru, akunoza kuda kuziya mai vemhuru bata musikuru wayo. Amai vacho vanobva vauya kuzokutunga. Now to get Malema from South Africa, coming from Norway, talking about succession in Zimbabwe, it shows that this is a foreign agenda. And to whom does Malema pander to? He panders to the dictates of the post-colonial or of the colonial company, colonial era company, Anglo-American, which is an offshoot from Cecil John Rhodes, which actually ran this region from Cape Town up to the Copper Belt in Congo and Zambia. And it manifests itself today in an organization called the Braindeast Foundation. The Braindeast Foundation is the one which authored Numba of Zambia's document about the elections in Zimbabwe. This is the ilk from which Julius Malema emanates from. He posits as a pseudo-revolutionary and a cryptic intellectual. He never properly went to school. And he propounds big theories about how Zimbabwe should be run, as if it is his own country. At 43 years of age, he is no longer a youth. Who is he from South Africa to try to tell the youths of Zimbabwe who should be their ruler? Malema pakati papaya ma. Why? Because he is a friend of Kasukwere, who a few days ago was echoing the same sentiments with the youths of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe must arise, must arise. He has just been in an election. He comes third for a party which broke away from the NC several years ago. Third from a Umkondo Esizwe's MK from Zuma, a party which is hardly 6 months. It's clear that his pseudo-revolutionary message within South Africa has reached a dead end. That's why he could be overtaken. That's why he never made it himself to become the president. So charity begins at home. If you are so good at leadership that you can give strictures to Zimbabwean youth, why not make it success your own homegrown right to power at Mashambanzo in Pretoria, in Tswane? He can't. So he suffers from the Rhodes syndrome. And a sick young man comes from Europe, lands in South Africa, diamonds are discovered, he ends up as the ruler of South Africa and builds an empire from South Africa, dreaming all the Cape to Cairo. These grandiose ideas about an interloping colonial are what shapes Malema's mind. He sees himself as the ruler of Zimbabwe. As if the people of Zimbabwe on their own are not enough to be ruling their country. We say to him, keep your dead hands out of Zimbabwe's affairs, Malema. Focus on trying to win a South African election first. That's why there are boundaries. That's why the Limpopo is a boundary between Zimbabwe and South Africa. She has no authority at all to be speaking about Zimbabwean politics. And these illusions and delusions of grandeur of being a latter-day African Cecil John Rhodes, straddling from Cape to Cairo. This time you want to say from Cape to Harare. It won't happen. Our youths, I'll speak about what they've done for this country later. They will not listen to the nonsense which is coming from Malema. He has no deliverables himself from within his political career, which one can count on. Now look at what the President of the Second Republic has done in 5 years. Raised production of gold from less than 10 tons to 35 to 40 tons, supported by Zimbabwe's youths who are accounting for 60 to 70% of that gold production. You know where they were here last week, the youths of Zimbabwe and their organizations, they were at a gold association meeting in Shanghai. This is the foremost gold buying country of the world today. Maybe they compete with America. This is what Zimbabwean youths have now earned for themselves. High seats at the global gold market right now in Zimbabwe, because they can produce $2 billion worth of gold a year and they can go beyond that. These are tangibles. This is what is behind the activities of the Zimbabwean youth. Now we are being told by a charlatan from South Africa to work against a government which has made you so rich that you can account for $2 billion. You think they will listen to him? They won't. This is what Zimbabwe's youth have achieved.
Wow. Everything that he has said, I mean, whenever I hear Chris speaks about, how rich Zimbabwe is and how the youth are succeeding, how much money they're making, I was looking at myself, I'm like, what is this man talking about? What is he really referring to? I'm sure maybe he's referring to his children, because his children have got hands in many things. ZANU-PF people, of course, they can say that we are succeeding. I don't blame them. I mean, they move around big cars and they're threatening almost everyone, and they're doing as they please. Maybe to him, that's what success looks like. But the entire Zimbabweans are suffering. Like I told you that South Africans are not as Zimbabweans. So these politicians are very much united. So imagine fighting, and then tomorrow you were expecting Ramaphosa to be on your side. There's also DAU head calling out ZANU-PF for abductions, torture, and abuse of human rights. So do you think that they're going to sit back and let Ramaphosa ignore his people and start siding with ZANU-PF? I'm sure he won't. This time he won't. They're in trouble. This time they are on their own. And I saw someone laughing today and said there were almost like 30 diplomats today. They were inaugurating Kagame in Rwanda, right? And in Zimbabwe, only 3 came, 3 presidents. But in Kagame, 30 of them attended. What was I supposed to tell you? That election was nothing but a sham. People do not want to associate themselves with a lot of nonsense that's going on in Zimbabwe. It's a fact. And it's not like people are lying at all. No, it's the truth. If Kagame would get 30 presidents, attending his inauguration, and in Zimbabwe only 3, it says it all. People are done with ZANU-PF. They can just pretend. What else can they do? I can't even wait to see what's going to happen on this SADC summit. But Kasugure responded. Again, there's going to be a presser. According to them, they said they're going to have a presser tomorrow. I just saw the tweets out there. But he responded. He said, Chris should not try to be smart. He has been holding road shows in South Africa, Europe, and the US, being his last stop raising funds for his own campaign, War Chase. He returned from the US last week. Chris forgets that he is angry with Emmerson Mnangagwa, whom he accuses of grabbing Manize from him. He has been talking about Manize all the time. I think it's Manize's to do with the steel, whatever it's called. I'm not really that much, I don't know what you call it. But I'm like, that's not my area, so I'm not even interested. Every time when Chris is talking about Manize, I don't even want to listen. I don't even care, because it doesn't benefit me at all. He can say all that he wants, because he's accusing them that they were actually plotting a coup. We're going to look at that story tomorrow morning. He's accusing, Kasukwire and Muzembe that they were trying to topple Mnangagwa. They attempted a coup, which did not succeed. So we'll look at that story tomorrow. And then Ali said, when Mugabe kicked Muchanga out of ZANU-PF, the same charlatan ran to South Africa. During his address at VETS, he said South Africa is the biggest economy in SADC, must get involved in helping to solve the Zimbabwe problem. Today, he's fuming and frothing when President Julius Malema says the same. Tell Muchanga, I want to... Okay, I can't read this one. Tell Muchanga, I want to punch... All right, that's men's drama. I don't get involved when men are doing all their drama. I want to punch him, punch his big mouth. All right, this is crazy. It's getting wild. It's really getting wild. Men want to fight. They want to fight for drama, right? So it's getting really wild within the ZANU-PF. But here's the thing that I love, guys. Whatever is going on in ZANU-PF, in my opinion, let's not get involved much in that. That's not our concern. It is just not going to work, it's going to benefit the citizens at the end of the day. but we don't want to get involved in their drama and fights. It's their thing. And I know men very well, they'll fight today, tomorrow see them, hugging. So I don't get involved in many fights at all. It's a waste of my time. Now, this was an incredible, article that was written by Ruben. He said Mnangagwa has managed, the UN oppressed mind. Mnangagwa has managed to make Zimbabweans hurt SADC, which I agree. How many people who are actually happy with what's going on right now in the country? Harassing our people. Actually, I even said to myself, to someone yesterday, I was like, I really think this era and this generation, we need to have our own bodies. This SADC thing has completely failed. I mean, what are they for? They can't even help the suffering people in different countries. Guys, we talk about Zimbabwe. You haven't seen what's going on in DRC. Did you even see what's happening in DRC? People are dying like flies. And they keep on going there and have meetings, but there's no resolution. Are you telling me that they can't stop the fights that's going down there? They can, but they failed dismally. I really think us, this new generation, we need to have our own bodies that can stand firm and make sure people in Namibia won't struggle. In Mozambique, if there can be a problem, we stand up and said, not in these quarters. Because this SADC thing, it's nothing but it's a joke, in my opinion. Let's see what they're going to do with this whole preliminary report and this report about the sham election. But like people just say, we forget about that. I mean, if they were authentic, we had problems in Kenya, they were going to resolve them before all the mess. But they sit back when people were dying. So do you think we can get no help at all? In my opinion, I don't think so. I don't. So he said, you know what, Mnangagwa, he has managed to make Zimbabwe's head SADC. And he's right. He said, I can just imagine the anticipation and excitement that gripped the people of France as they eagerly counted down to 2024 Paris Olympics. With each passing day, I'm quite sure this anticipation and excitement only grew larger and larger. Now that the long-awaited event is underway, not only are the French over the moon that the Olympics are being held on their soil for 6th time, but are filled with profound national pride. There's every reason for citizens to be driven by an intense sense of patriotism when awarded the honor to host an international event. The same cannot be said for Zimbabweans, however, as we brace ourselves to host the 44th Ordinary SADC Heads of State and Government Summit. One would have expected Zimbabweans to experience a heightened patriotic fevers and national pride. Why wouldn't we be? How often does a country get the chance to welcome so many heads of state and government at the same time? This was supposed to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to show the world what we are made of as Zimbabweans. The international community had to see how loving, friendly, and united we are as a nation. We're expected to maximize on this event so as to bring a usually paralyzed nation together, while it's simultaneously undoing the long-standing narrative of Zimbabwe as an undemocratic, oppressive society. Above all this, as Zimbabweans also, we were meant to look forward to this SADC summit with excitement and anticipation. There is every reason for citizens to be driven by an intense sense of patriotism when awarded the honor to host an international event. The same cannot be said for Zimbabweans, however, right? Am I repeating? No, I'm not. No, I'm repeating. My bad. Okay, we shouldn't have all been so eager to see all those regional leaders as they conveyed on our capital city, Harare. Yet that is not the case. Far from it. If anything, the generality of ordinary Zimbabweans now wants the meeting to be over with. I agree. We cannot wait for it to come and go as quickly as possible. Maybe that way we can have our lives back to normal. Why would we not want this SADC summit gone when the country now appears like a war zone? How are we supposed to feel when hoarders of military personnel and their hardware now flood our towns and cities as if the country was preparing for some form of military conflict? One would be excused for thinking the visiting heads of state and government were actually coming with their own armies to invade Zimbabwe. Ordinary Zimbabweans now live in fear of their own government in an intense environment of uncertainty. Why do we have these heavily armed people all around us? Then there are the 78 opposition supporters who are also still languishing in remand prison after being arrested at a private residence of their leader, Emmerson Mnangagwa. As we commemorated the Day of Africa's Child on the 16th of June 2024, One was arrested, is currently incarcerated with their 1-year-old child, while the one Tambuze Makoro required emergency surgery on her leg after an alleged barbaric attack by the police during their arrest. Just a week ago, opposition leader Jacob Garib was also arrested, and quite a number of people were arrested as well. Besides, is freedom of assembly and association not protected under Section 58 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe? In the same vein, what is planning illegal demonstrations means when the right to demonstrate is enshrined under Section 59 of the country's supreme law? Let us remember that these people were not arrested as they embarked on a supposed illegal demonstration, but for planning an illegal demonstration. How exactly does one plan an illegal demonstration? Any demonstration needs to be planned first before the legal requirements, such as informing the police, as stipulated under Maintenance of Order and Peace Act, are followed. So at what point did the police determine that these people were planning illegal demonstrations? Did the regime ever wait to ascertain whether these people, if they were indeed planning demonstrations, were going to follow laid down legal procedures? Let's remember that they are being accused of planning to stage demonstrations during the SADC summit, which is stated for 17th of August 2024. This is over a week away. And you've seen some notifications, and I've seen a letter that was sent to Police Zimbabwe, again confirming about this these upcoming protests. The question is, why do people even talk about the Constitution? Did ZANU-PF ever follow the Constitution at all? When I hear people talk about Section 59, I'm like, do ZANU-PF even care about Section 59? I mean, how did they even brought a person that is retired, like Malawa back, like the quote unquote the Chief Justice? How many things that are happening in Zimbabwe that are wrong that has nothing to do with the laws in Zimbabwe under the ban of ZANU-PF? So talking about the Constitution is simply a waste of time. The only way out here is to just let these people go. Because if it is talking about the Constitution, it's what for? Do they even care? I think they actually laugh in their homes and say, what are these people talking about? We are the one who control. We do as we please. Them rolling the tanks, across the country, does the Constitution allow that? No. Then why do we expect them to actually respect it? They don't care. They don't care. Also, the Southern African human rights defenders as well, they're on records demanding, also still calling out SADC to call ZANU-PF to order, or the regime to order. The question again is, are they going to listen? Are they going to listen to anyone? Do they even care? That's the question. They don't. This is a criminal cartel. These are thugs. They don't even understand what leadership is. These are a group of people who are looting day in, day out, and they're simply protecting their looting, nothing else. And sometimes we have to call things as they are if we want to free the country. Let's call things as they are. They need to know that we know these people are simply thugs. And they don't love Zimbabweans. They really don't. They're just focusing on their own stuff, what they are collecting and control. But at the end of the day, I don't see it lasting for long because the pressure is becoming intense by day. But the country is broken. It is a broken country. And not only you talk about politicians, the entire street is broken. The people don't respect each other anymore. This story is one of the most painful, heartbreaking stories I've never seen. Yo, do you remember a woman that circulated asking for money, that she wanted to go and have a kidney transplant? Do you remember? I think her name she was from the University of Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken. The story is heartbreaking. Because when that money was far beyond, more money was actually donated by Zimbabweans across the world. What did they do? They've taken that money to themselves. A man who took the money, and the family member as well. I saw the other report today that the family member took the money as well. And I'm sitting and I'm asking myself questions. The woman wants to have a kidney transplant. She's between life and death. But number one, a businessman who owns Eco Cash stole the money. On the other end, the family member that was receiving money also stole some of the monies that were donated by the people so that the relative can have a life. But not only this businessman is known, because the information is on social media, the businessman was given $100 bail. Do you understand? Let me read the report. Was sent by Crime Watch Zimbabwe. At Tendai Ship, the 46 is a 46-year-old who is charged with fraud, was remanded on $100 US dollars. He owns Chibwe Econet shop located at Tuli service station along Mulawe Road in Varasekwa 4, Harare. The guy you can see, you know, I'm a person, listen, let me tell you one thing that I've learned about men. I've spent my time studying men a lot. When you see men who love a lot of pictures, selfies, and it's a red flag. There must be something not right, because that is a feminine energy. It's not a masculine energy, because masculine energy, men have dignity and class. I always say, honestly, in my opinion, except a man is a politician or a businessman, when a man spending most of his time on social media, it's a red flag. Do you understand what I'm saying? I spend my time studying men, yo. Unless he's with a businessman, or a politician, or a technical guy, or he makes his money on social media. But if he is on TikTok all the time, he can be on Facebook all the time, beat an ex, just roaming around, following women, it's a red flag. This guy's got so many selfies. And you looked at the money, he's called a businessman. No shame. A 46-year-old is looting money for a 20-year-old who is between life and death, who has been asking for help. And he's a family man. And life goes on, he doesn't even care. That's the society that we've built. It starts from the ZANU PF thugs. It's dripping in the society. It's becoming the norm. A society don't have no respect for life anymore. As long as I eat, I take, I'm being seen, I joined them being a culture, as long as I now belong to this group of people, that it seems like life is going on for me, I don't care about the next person. That's exactly what's going on in the country now. Do you blame them? No, I don't. The road starts from the head. It's dripping across the entire country. This is why I always said, the moment we have someone who cares for humanity, everything will change, including marriages and families, will be restored. It starts from the top, dripping to the society. And I'm going to call upon this man, Tendai Chibwe, wherever you are, sir, to return the money. And this family member here to also return the money that they took. The money that people actually donated so that someone can have a kidney transplant. So she must die. Wow. Wow. And you must be running your business. And you also know that Sikosapwani as well, allegations are recently, the guys that were doing work at his house were digging and they saw human remains at his house. I'm talking about Scott Sapkanya. It's there reported by Zim Live. There were human remains. A human being was buried at Scott Sapkanya's house. Do you understand? And these are the people that you are saying, dada. Really? That's the society that we have built. We built the Mpinga evil culture. We, the people, we did. This is why I feel sick when I see young people following these liars. And I'm looking and I'm like, do you even know what you're doing? These are the same people who are destroying your life. These people. All these Vana Wiki no Shivayo. Vana Chimombe. I've got a friend of mine who don't like those guys at all. And she always said, Rombi, I don't like these guys. Because I used to tell people that one day they will be locked up. How they were showing off on Instagram their lifestyle, that they were looting from the people. Binga, do you blame them? No. We created the monster. We, the people of Zimbabwe, we created monsters by celebrating thugs and thieves on the street. Not the people that are actually doing right. We don't respect them. If you work hard, you're actually not being respected in society. But in Bava, those of us don't know Shamisira. You are respecting the same people holding a gun and scare you every day. You should, when you see them, not even care at all. But how can they not be? Be it women as well, the slave queens. They can't even work now as long as I found a ZANU PF person or any person who may have their hands in the state coffer. I also have allegations that even Muchanga has got million slave queens in town. We created those monsters. And we are wondering why the country is bleeding. It's sad. But it's a reality. And I pray, my prayer is that we wake up and having leaders, people who genuinely care for humanity. Who genuinely care for humanity. That this man who took the money could have been locked up. You don't come out. Right? This family member that took the money could have been locked up. You don't come out. All this right now, I'm surprised because under normal circumstances, when they find remains at your house, you should be locked up. While they're doing investigations, you tell them who buried a human being at your home. But no, you align yourselves ZANU PF, so you just get away with murder. Nobody's gonna ask you anything. Who created the monster? We did. We did. We should learn that everyone matters. Each and every one of us is important. There's no one who's better than the other in Zimbabwe. Nobody. Let's assume God has blessed you and you have maybe one or two few things. Praise God, and we're happy for you. But what is that supposed to stop me from living? What do I benefit from your lifestyle? Why should I stop breathing because you have got a better life? In fact, it's a better life to you, not to me, right? It's in your head, it's not in my head. You see, people assume that when they're doing their stuff, everyone else believes in what they believe in. Okay. Not everyone gets moved by things. So humble yourself and relax. Just humble yourself. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Family life. Family life. Where's our mom as well? Yane. Was that late again? I can't accept no invites, y'all, as the TikTok. People into they want to speak, but I can't. I just pray that they're doing the right thing. Honestly, I'll pray they're gonna do the right thing. I don't know where they pull my stuff. Yeah, I think they forgot to save this stuff. Yeah, forgive me. But I was almost rushing to the family life, and I heard the woman was talking about the issue, asking women that what are you guys doing? How are you coping with when dealing with a cheating husband? That's the question she was asking. And I'm laughing on the other end. She's asking, how are you guys doing? Are you taking care of yourself? Do you get the counseling that you need? That's the question that she was asking, the ambassador woman. Are you getting the counseling when you're married to a cheating man or to a cheating wife? And I'm sitting there. Because I've never married, when people send me those kind of things, I'm like, I can only give you information as much as I understand as a single person. It's difficult. But I still believe that cheating it may definitely be caused by, it's circumstantial. Because there are so many reasons why people do what they do. So it's not a one size fits all because each and every family is different, right? But I also believe that, my mom used to say that, because the Bible is very clear about that God created a man, took away the rib, and created a woman. The Bible is clear on that, right? So my mom loved to use that analogy and say, it's possible to marry the wrong person. That's why most people are not breathing properly because the rib does not fit. Because they married the wrong person. And the truth remains, let me just tell you, when earlier towards 30 years old, there's this mantra in the church where you can't cross 30 because people think that you're too old, So I think around 28, 29, I was really definitely praying for a husband. I must tell you, if you get in my house, you'll find in the kitchen, there was a prayer for a husband. In the bathroom, prayer for a husband. In my office, prayer for a husband. Next to my bed, prayer for the husband. Everywhere in my diary, I do the list of what I'm expecting when I marry someone. That was like literally 10, 12 years ago, You understand? So, and all those stuff there, writing and telling God, I was praying, hitting the walls. God, you're going to send the men right now. You must come right now. You know what I mean? Like, what it is in the church. So there was this guy who was very much active in the church. And I'm a church person. I'm like a Jesus girl, He was very much active in the church. He was there almost every time in the morning prayers. Bear in mind, I used to go to a church where it was very much dominated by a certain country because the founder of the church is from a certain country. I don't mention because I don't want to act like I'm a hater, because I'm not a hater. So for that reason, this guy started coming to me, and when I'm talking, I went to Dad. I was like, Dad, this man is like talking to me, and I think he likes me. my dad looks squarely in my eyes, and he said to me, my child, are you sure you're going to go to this country and stay there? And I was like, Daddy, I don't have a problem. I know this can be my people, like I don't have a problem. I just what's wrong with that? I can go. Okay, if he wakes up and be sick tomorrow, my child, will you still go with him if he wants to go back home? is from a different country. I'm like, no, Daddy, I don't even mind, you know. No, what's wrong? I'm in love with the person. Okay. I'm trying to help people on TikTok. And I remember this. He said to me, okay, that's fine. If that's what you think. It was me then, late 20s. But at the age of 41, I would never think that way. So the problem is that people make decisions when that are seasonal, right? You are in a season and you make a decision because it's the season. But you don't think about where am I going to be in the next 5, 10, 20, 15 years. People don't think about that. So every time they just tell you, no, I'm in love. No, I just love this person. No, I'm like crazy in love. But you never think about where you're going to be with that person. Is there future or it's a season that you are stuck in? This is one of the reasons why majority of people are unhappy today. Because you marry for wrong reasons. No, but we're together at the university. Oh, she's got a degree. Especially Zimbabwean community, we are very much of academia-oriented people. No, she has got a degree. The moment you tell your parents, no, it's a master's degree. Parents are like, oh, maybe the wife is a master's degree. That means nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's not the master's degree that matters. It's destiny that matters. So fast forward, around 32 years old, right? One of my colleagues at that time came to me rushing. He was like, hey, Ruby, do you know that this man passed away? I'm like, which man? He said to me, you don't know Miles. Ruby, you are a church person. You don't know Miles Monroe. I'm like, who is Miles Monroe? I didn't know him. I would just see him, but I didn't know him much. So I was like, okay, let me go to Google. I checked him out. I was like, I know, when I get home, I'm going to see what's happening. When I got home, I began to listen to this guy. Man, the teachings, I was like, damn, girl, you didn't even have a clue what marriage is all about. You were crazy. I forgot about the marriage. I began to focus on myself. To become the best version of me. And be happy about life on my own before I talk about having someone. That even if I marry a man and he is serious, that day doesn't want to speak, yo, I'm going to be having a party in the other room there. I'm like, brother, you're going to be okay. And you are fine. I pray for you and I believe in you. But me, I need to go and be having a party there. And my family knows I can be laughing on my own. Because I've chose happiness. Do you understand? My teaching every time to young girls is, you better be happy from your mother's house. There's no marriage that will make you happy. It's a lie, right? You have to mature. It's maturity. You must work, pay the bills, understand life, right? And then God will send you the right person. Don't rush, don't push, don't force. Because most women force and they push, and I understand that. I've been there, so I get it, right? You don't do it. You need the freedom to choose the right man for your destiny. Not to please people. Not because the church says, no, you're too old. Listen, people spoke and they kept quiet with me. Now they just say, praise the Lord. You understand? Because majority of them went and they still come back and I'm still here. Do you understand? They went and they came back. So you need to marry because you're mature. But even if you can be mature at the age of 28, depending on your upbringing. So it's not the age that matters. It's maturity because you're exposed to truth and counsel, teaching, and guidance. And you also may be marrying into a family that is mature, a family that is a good family. It automatically helps you to become the best version of you. But it's unfortunate. In a Zimbabwean context, majority of families are broken because of the politics. So you must always consider a lot of factors. So I'm sorry, I can't answer you why would a person cheat, but I think it's circumstantial. But it also boils down to the fact that when you truly find the right person, and you're both happy, and you both understand why you are in that marriage, you understand the family and what cheating can do to your family, because it brings a lot of trauma and pain. People neglected that. It's kind of, oh, it's just cheating, like we're talking, that's okay. No, it brings a lot of brokenness. In fact, most children turn their life wild because either the man went outside or the mother did. And that affected the future of children. People don't realize how intense that is. That the cheating of a man or a woman can automatically affect the livelihood of children, even when they don't do anything, because when a man goes out or a woman goes out, she's to bring any energy from different families into that marriage. Then it does have influence in the direction of where children will go. You find out that a child can start going wild. You ask questions, but how did your son begin to be a drug addict? Because you went and met a drug addict, or you met a woman or a man who had a family history of drug addicts. When you came back into your marriage, you came with that spirit. People don't want to tell the truth, but it is a fact. Whether people endorse cheating when you're married, but that does not overrule the fact that that does affect marriages and children as well. It's not only that you, a wife, can be angry and be upset, but children as well, destiny. So you need to choose if you want to lose the future of your children, who can be your investments because you're pleasing a woman on the street or a man on the street. The choice is yours. But what I can only do is to give you information. You choose the life that you want. But as for me and my house, we'll serve the Lord. As for me, I don't think I'll be a person which is, if I see that thing doesn't work for me, I'm out. That's me. I'm not talking about someone else because I understand spiritual ties very well and how they work. I spend my time learning the spiritual world. So you're going to have to choose and decide. Any person who wants a successful family and successful children understand that it takes commitment, it takes intentionality, it takes truth. So when you decide to cheat tomorrow, whether you're a woman or man, when you decide to leave your marriage and go after women on the streets or men on the streets, you must know that will come with a cost. It's not as cheap as it is. You fighting and with your wife is nothing compared to the spirits that you bring in the house. Because some of the women you meet are prostitutes. They are non-prostitutes on the streets. So you're bringing prostitution into your children. So one of your children become to be a prostitute. Don't be surprised. You brought the spirit into the house. And it automatically shapes the direction of where kids are going. That's the truth of life. So that's why she would ask me, what do I say about cheating? I can only tell you what I know. It's up to you to decide whether you want to cheat or not. You know what I mean? It's your choice. But like I said, it's for me and my house. We'll serve the Lord. And I don't think I would. And I pray that God don't give me a man who has got that mindset, because I'm going to make it very clear to him. In fact, I believe in signing a contract. You're going to have to sign the documents. And when you cross the line, Mama is going to come back. Can we go back to the drawing board? This was your commitment, brother. Right. That's what they do when you get a job, don't you? Right? They give you a contract, don't you? And then when you cross the line, they're like, come back here, sir. This is a contract that you signed, the work that you need to be doing. Right? You have crossed the line now. You're no longer doing what you're supposed to be doing. So say, is there something wrong you can correct here? So sometimes it takes communication. Go back to the drawing board. How did you get there? And find solutions. And I'm sure you can also get help from therapy and whatever. But I'm not a person who believes more into the therapy part for me. But I believe that you need to mature. You need to understand what marriage is. Otherwise, if you don't, you're just going to get excitement about the wedding day. Oh, it's going to be a dress, white dress. Okay. Then after the white dress, what happens? The reality kicks in. My mom always say, love is blind, like they always say, but marriage is an eye-opener. Yeah. Love is blind, but marriage is an eye-opener. Your eyes will open up when you're there. You're like, oh my God, I didn't know that, but now I know. So that's all I have for you. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. Don't cheat. You must learn to speak, right? Communicate properly. Brothers and sisters, marriage is honorable, right? And a bed undefiled brings a lot of cases. The Bible is clear. So please do right. Love your families. Love your wife. Love your children. The time you're investing in women on the streets, come back and inject in your family and everything will work. Everything will work. Bless you. Bless you, TikTok. I love you. Bless you. Share some love.